And Janice and I had the honor of knowing Stu for probably 30 years. And we got to know him as a friend. People have talked about his nice qualities. He did have a sense of humor, and he was very easygoing. I don't think I ever was aware of him holding a grudge, having resentment, and he had a couple of struggles that some of you may know about and some may not, and he handled it with such grace. It was amazing. But a very good friend, was very generous to us. We met Stuart when actually a person I was working with, I was complaining about the dealership. He says, well, go to Sweden's Friar. And so we met, Bob, and of course Stuart was the one that really worked on our trucks. And I attribute him to him the fact that I still have a family. My son was 16 when he learned to drive, and we had an old 240 DL, which I would call a tank, because it's very sturdy, which is very important for Kyle because he had a way of getting involved in mishaps. So much so that he got, one night he came in and he was crying, he woke us up, and my son didn't cry much. He had gotten this massive ticket that I didn't know you could get that many points. But the only reason I'm sure he was alive was because Stuart worked on that and kept it going. I guess the second way in which he saved our family was we unfortunately bought a Volvo 1999 crossover that was, we call it the Volvo from hell. In the first 100,000 miles, we blew 2 engines, and we were so uncomfortable driving it, and we took it to Stuart from the dealership that we finally concluded did not know what they were doing, and he said, well, among other things, you need to change the hoses all the time, which wasn't what, what we had been told or thought, but he took care of that car. And we had no more blown engines, which can be very dangerous depending upon where you're driving. So that's probably, in addition to him being a wonderful friend, he really kept our family safe by the great work that he did. And he would work until he figured out what the problem was. And for this Volvo from hell, he figured it out. We were able to drive it until we fortunately got rid of it. I wanted to get a pickup truck, and so he helped us get actually 2. A 96 3/4 ton pickup truck that I ended up giving to my son, who now is an adult, probably could still use a truck because he was sort of out in the rural area. And then the truck that we drove down here, I think it was 2006, it drives like a dream. I remember he came by one day and picked us up in, I forget which, I think it was a restored car, I forget which one it was, with no seat belts, which I loved. And we just drove around, and then he would take us down to sort of the Friday thing in Golden with all the cars. And sort of opened a new, world for me with that. But through all, he was the most wonderful, generous person that we knew, and he was a good friend to really both Janice and I. So I'm glad to be able to celebrate his life. It was very important to us, and it's a huge loss. We can't call up Becca and say, hey, what do you do with this mechanical problem? But I did that to Stuart all the time. So I will miss him.
Yes.